boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Jameis to throw it. And he's got a man. It's the tight end, Howard, complete. It'll be a pickup of 4. Good enough to earn him yet another first down. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did. Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. It makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double-team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him strip.
Now he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down. Tack McKinley in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
They'll run it with Jones, and that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll be a loss of a yard, and they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
This interception will go on the record of the quarterback, but as a receiver, you've got to understand where you are in the field. Middle portion, you know it's going to come in hot. Square your body to the quarterback and be ready to make the catch.
Falcons offense making their way onto the field. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, it's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
Now Ryan on 2nd down. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. His first catch, good for 16 and a first.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
size, the hands.
the speed, I mean, the flat-out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, there's still advantage of blitzing. Often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. But the converse is, though, you've got to win those one-on-one blocks. And when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
And that's caught by Smith. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Ryan. Now he's going to let it go deep. Back. It's caught inside the 25. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. A few issues here on the offensive line, apparently. He got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well. So they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
He's going to take a shot for the end zone. The Bucs defense stiffens and pushes this to 4th down.
Tremendous field position there and a perfect time to do exactly what they did. Take a shot at the end zone. And they went for the big play, just unable to complete it.
And Bryant's kick is good. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
A look at Jameis Winston now as he gears up to lead this offense again. And he comes out on the heel, has the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. He is tough to bring down, Jameis Winston. Charles, I remember calling a baseball game of his. He played baseball at Florida State, too, and you saw his legs, tree trunks sprayed in to those baseball pants. I said, how could anybody bring this guy down?
And that's part of the beauty of his game because he has that toughness, that thick body. He may not beat you sprinting, but he's real sharp with his mind, and he knows how to get away from people. Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that.
It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bucs are just an extra point away from grabbing the lead now. Well, they went play action there and set it up nicely for him. I mean, he can flat fly, and they hit him downfield.
And it doesn't take much to create that extra bit of space that a guy of his speed needs. If you go play action, all you want is just a moment where the guy's covering, take their attention somewhere else, and then he's by him. And once he's by him, there's no catching him. As they always like to say, if a receiver's even to a defensive back, that means he's leaving.
Unless that DB is Charles Davis, right?
In that case, he left me a long time ago.
Come on now.
trust me.
Here's Oliver. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Falcons offense making their way onto the field. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now?
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Gerald McCoy continuing to fight downfield. The big tackle gets him for a loss of 11.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
They'll run it now with Smith. And he finds enough of an opening to get this one back up to his 20. In on the stop, Vernon Hargreaves.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
3rd and long. It's Ryan. Looking downfield for Jones. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while. What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again. And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments. They go play action here on 1st down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. O.J. Howard, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Bucs get the quick strike touchdown. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home. Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that. And a good effort on the return there. Gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going. They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field. Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. That good for 22 and a first down.
Let's go.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
On 1st down, Ryan. Throw right side, caught by Ridley. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 1 quarter down. It's a close game here early on. We'll return to Tampa after this message. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 2nd down and 8 to start things out. Off the play fake. Here's Ryan. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
And he's got Sanu. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Throwing on 3rd and long. Ryan. He went backwards 5 yards there on 3rd down to bring up 4th. Here's Matt Bosher now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And here's a very low line drive, almost whiffed on it. And the Falcons grab it.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team.
Football 101, you've got to let the guy catch the ball.
You have to know the ball is there. You have to know it's arrived. Otherwise, you're going to get flagged every time.
Now it's 1st and 10 after a costly penalty there on 4th down. To throw is Winston. It's complete to Jerron Brown. 1st down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down.
If it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on 1st down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the 1st half.
And he's going to break our statistician Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
Now Jameis on 2nd down. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
When Mike Evans sees man coverage, I don't think he's the only guy who gets excited. I'll guarantee the guy throwing the ball does because guess what? He's got a lot of...
And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Ronald Jones with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. Crosby connects on the extra point, and the lead is up to 15 now. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
I would say it'd probably be a good idea for him to reintroduce himself to his receivers at the half because they're definitely on different wavelengths. But I also don't advocate waiting that long. Next series before you get out there. Hey, let's get together, guys. Let's get this thing moving.
And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On 3rd down, Ryan. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. Call that a loss of 7 to bring up 4th.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it and smothered it. What a third down stop by them.
So possession goes over here on the punt, and the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Jameis Winston and company heading back onto the field now. He's looked pretty good. Does have the one interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis?
They'll take the offset. When you talk about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of a season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
They'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second quarter. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
Well, that was man coverage. So once he decides to run with the football, there's no one to account for him, and he turns it into a nice gain.
Off the play fake, Winston. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, he needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that get our attention and reverberate for weeks to come.
After the interception, here's Ryan. He's going to loft one deep left side here. That's caught at the 25. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. Now Ryan on first down. This will be caught inside the 10. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up first and goal. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. They also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws that quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. Takes 2 to tango. A first chance in the red zone for the Falcons now. They've got it first and goal at the 6.
11.
Now it's Ryan. And his throw is incomplete.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
Dancing to his left. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at third down. The Falcons on third down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This is third and goal. On the keeper, here's Ryan. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. Matt Ryan taking it in. And the Falcons get a bit closer.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive court. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Let me go ahead and show my age a little bit. I liked it when they would fake it from the 3-yard line, right? When you'd line up, go ahead, and oh, there's a fake, and he's going to get 2. That's great. But from the 15, the risk-reward, it's just not there.
So risky to get 15 yards on a fake. Well, you see the result right there.
Yeah, I know these young whippersnappers are trying to do different things in this game, but let's go back to old reliable. Kick the ball through the post.
Get off my lawn.
That's darn right.
And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. They find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Can he put it aside? Let's find out.
Play action is supposed to be used to slow down pressure, slow down blitzes. In this case, though, if it takes a little too long to develop, you got people right in your face.
And lucky just to get rid of the ball with the arm going forward. Could have been a fumble.
Ready. Black 22.
On second down, it's Jones. He takes this from the 30 to the 34.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Ready. Blue 80.
On third down, Winston. Open man has got it. It's complete. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Winston to Godwin on the connection there for a Tampa Bay first.
But that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
And a catch right side by Evans. He's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one goes for 24 yards.
And that was a heck of a shot right there by Jameis Winston. Boy, he has a superior right arm, doesn't he? You saw him play baseball.
Yeah, he's actually a switch hitter in baseball. Outfielder and then, of course, a very hard-throwing pitcher. That's translated well in the National Football League.
That it has. When he has to make that throw on a line, he's got plenty of arm to do it.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
Ready. Blue 80. Boys on it.
Second down, Winston. Out to the left there and complete to Howard. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Fifth catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Now a play fake here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Navarro Bowman coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on first and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
Ready. Flag 22. Boys on it.
Now a second down throw for Winston. A dump underneath to Jones. And he takes this down to about the 2 before going out of bounds. A 10-yard completion, but still now facing third and goal. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
They'll try and run it in with Jones. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on fourth and goal.
There are certain drives in a game where anything less than a touchdown that caps it feels like an absolute disappointment. This is one of those drives.
And Crosby puts it through, and that will give them a 12-point lead. They took it all the way to the 1, but in the end, opt for 3.
Just doesn't sound right, does it? If you get all the way down to the 1-yard line, Isn't that supposed to be a play in the end zone that culminates in a touchdown for your team?
And per usual, it felt like the guys on the sideline wanted to go ahead and go for it.
Of course they did, but of course head coach, it defers back to him, and he made the decision. Let's get 3 out of this, make sure we get some points.
Hey, wait. Ready? Back 25. Let's go.
They'll throw on first down with Ryan. He's going to float this one deep right. And got his man complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A gain of 39 that time. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll send you cross-state to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have all the stats and all the scores from games going on during another busy Sunday in the National Football League.
20.
On the run, it's Smith. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Clock running, and the Falcons moving with a sense of urgency. They'll run with Smith. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. He lost 2 there, and it's third down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. Here's Ryan. Ryan hit, and he lost the football. Call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
They'll try and throw for him with Ryan. And he's going to go down again. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. So certainly not the way that they were hoping that possession would end, failing to convert on 4th.
And now they've got to make sure that they keep their poise, they keep their confidence. Just because it didn't work once doesn't mean if they get that same situation later that they shouldn't go for it again. The defense feels great, but the offense, they can't be despondent.
Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Ready. Blue ready.
Working out of the gun. Winston. Pass incomplete.
So many offense want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Jameis to throw it. And, Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And a lot of times you talk about establishing the ground game. Probably something they need to do more of here, losing in the 2nd quarter.
When you're riding your best torch, you've got to lather him up. The best running backs I've ever talked to, they've all said the exact same thing to me. I'll even break a good sweat until I get to 20 carries.
You're full of good wisdom. Let's see if they can get him into the game more now. Ryan now at 200 yards already in this first half, and he's not done yet. 1st and 10. They go play action now. Ryan. He's going to air one out. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Calvin Ridley with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Falcons draw a bit closer.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. And he takes off with it. It's a fake. And he's across for 2 points. Boy, a gutsy call right there, but the fake works. And they get the 2 instead of 1. And that's something you almost never see nowadays. When you fake it, you're at the 15-yard line on a PAT as opposed to just going for it from the 2.
I'm sorry. I know they got it, and congratulations to them, but it's just not a good play. I mean, the risk-reward is really off the charts, not in your favor. Run your offense out there. Put it on the 2-yard line if you want to go for 2. But I'll be darned, they ended up getting that one, didn't they?
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
On the tackle, it's Trey Waynes. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we toss it an hour or so east of here to Orlando. It's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll get started up at Lucas Oil Stadium in the capital city of Indianapolis. And they have just about gone to halftime with the Panthers out on top. Cam Newton's thrown a touchdown pass. From there, we make the short trip up I-65 to check in on the Bears at home, Soldier Field in Chicago. And they trail the visiting Denver Broncos in that one. Chris Hogan, a touchdown reception. Finally, let's get down to Miami to see what's going on with the Dolphins. And you can see they trail in that matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. James Washington, a touchdown reception. In our game has been Jameis Winston, who's been on target in the first half. He's over 300 yards passing already. How high can he go? To find out, let's kick it back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. Now it's Wilson. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. A look at Jameis Winston now as he gears up to lead this offense again. And it was somewhat of a strange first half. He threw 3 interceptions, yet you look at the scoreboard, they've got the lead.
So you know what I think he did at the half? He stood up in front of the team, especially in front of the defense, and said, thank you. Appreciate what you've done. You guys have picked me up in a big way. And guess what? I'm going to get back to being who I am, which is pretty darn good. Let's go play the second half.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Again, it's Jones. And at the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And able to work about 5 yards out of this as he's taken down up near the 47.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Ready. Blue lady.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
They're making it look easy out there. Another plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. And they'll run it here. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Ready. Blue lady.
Winston from the gun on 3rd down. The left side completion to Jones. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Ryan to the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Trying to get the run game going. Here's Smith. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Hey, check, check. Hey, express. 11. Hey, south.
They'll run it again with Smith. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
And not only near the sun. And the ball is knocked out, and the Buccaneers have it. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that.
And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked up by DeMonte Kazin. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, these cornerbacks had their hands full all afternoon long, but they finally get a measure of revenge as he gets himself in a nice spot. He's able to get 2 hands on the football and pick it off.
Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. they've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day at camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam. Oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan. That's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Only a yard there, sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up 3rd.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed, but all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
The Falcons on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 9. Ryan will throw again. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. It is intercepted at the goal line. Vernon Hargraves with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Another times, if you've got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. The Bucs on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, Winston. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes.
It's a team game, but sometimes individuals do stand out, don't they? How about that for a twofer? Tackle for loss on the running play on the previous down, and then comes right back and gets a sack.
Here's Brian Anger now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. Good day for him so far here in the 3rd quarter. He's hit pay dirt once, over 100 yards, but hey, it's the 3rd quarter. He's thinking, I want more, right?
He wants more, and it just increases the confidence of his team because every play he makes, it means his quarterback is really feeling good about throwing the football. Probably feels like he can't throw an incomplete pass when he throws it to him right now.
Yeah, he's looked really, really sharp. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. Flushed out right. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. Murray fighting, lost the football. But the Falcons were able to recover, so they will keep possession. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
He's going to run, but he's got a long... And I think the ball's out. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. Well, let's see now, Charles. That's 7 turnovers between last week and this week. 3 here in this game, 4 in last week's game.
You know I do my research, right? And I go all the way back to the best coaches that have ever been in this game, and all of them started with ball security in some form or another. Understand.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 25, and his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Gerald McCoy in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Gone!
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. Flush to his right. Murray fighting. Lost the football. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. Here's Matt Bosher now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. It'll be called just a 22-yard punt. Certainly not what he wanted. And the Buccaneer offense will be set up well as they take over. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And last time, 1 play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give him a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one. When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Hey, ready! Blue ready! Set! Watch the foul, set!
They'll go again to Jones. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run it until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
Ready! Blue lady. Let's go.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. He's got Evans. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. 3 touchdown passes now in the ball game for Jameis Winston. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Uh-oh, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, if there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs. And the offense moving quickly to the line. On 1st and 10, Murray. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Back to the air on 2nd down. Murray, he's going to loft one deep. This is caught at the 20. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 42 yards. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. They'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
As time has run out on this 3rd quarter. It's the Falcons. They'll have the football, but trailing on the scoreboard as we get set to begin the 4th. To throw on 2nd down. Murray out to his left. And he can't corral it. Maybe a big missed opportunity there defensively in the end zone. And now 3rd down. Pretty lucky to get the football back. Had his target out there waving the arms, saying I'm open, but maybe didn't see him quick enough.
And I know the jokes are always about defensive backs' hands. What really actually happens, you don't get many opportunities. You get over anxious and you start to think about taking it away and going the other way instead of focusing and catching the ball.
He may try and run for this. And he has the 1st down before he's tackled at the 5. Give him a gain of 4, able to convert, and that sets up 1st and goal now. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and goal.
Hurry up, here we go.
Here's Murray. Being chased out left. This is caught. It's Sanu this time for a Falcon touchdown. Mohamed Sanu with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Falcons have cut it to within a score. Well, he scrambled outside of the pocket, wondered what was going to happen there. He fired a dart. That's what happened.
He certainly did. Scrambled left, looked left, and then left it in the receiver's hands with some dispatch.
In the receiver's hands, in the end zone for the score. Now Matt Bryant on for the point after. Bryant tacks on the extra point, and now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Here's Bosher to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. With the Bucs offense making their way back out on the field, let's take a look at the playoff picture, Charles, coming into the weekend in the NFC. As we take a look at the playoff picture, and certainly a lot of jostling still to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting. These last few weeks, a lot to play for.
Yeah, exciting for us because we get to talk about it, and, you know, at the end of the day, 6 teams are going to go from each conference, and guess what? We're going to have a playoffs. But nerve-wracking for all the people involved, all the teams, because their goal is to get there. And anything less than that makes the season a disappointment. So they've got to be primed now for a big finish to their season.
And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. The tackle made there by Tack McKinley.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. Jameis now on 1st down. Steps away. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Duke Riley coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. The give is to Jones. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. Call it a 3-yard gain, but they'll be forced into a 3rd and 15 coming up.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. Third and long for Winston. Throw left side complete. That's Howard. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. It's Ito Smith. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Moving backwards on 1st down, never a good thing. What does that do for the mindset on 2nd down?
Well, it changes your play call, definitely, because as a play call, you're advancing yourself thinking, okay, we're going to get a gain here. Now you've got to go back in reverse, come up with something to pick up. Now,
under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect him. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Murray now. Step, and pressure gets to him again.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he'll be corralled right around the 34. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down. Jameis now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. A give to Jones. To the 40 and no further. The razzle-dazzle, though, got him a couple extra on the play. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Face mask. Defense.
Trailing in the 4th, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. After the penalty, it's Jones. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Tackle made by Devondre Campbell. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Vic Beasley with a big-time sack on 3rd down, and it'll be a loss of 7.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him, maybe the guys up front, combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. It blocked so
oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Levante David in there to get him for a loss of 5.
And that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Murray, he's going to loft one deep left side here. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position. Couldn't hold on. 3rd down.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. Getting it out left side to Sanu. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one will go down as 33 yards on the third down conversion.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. And now he'll tuck it and run. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a third down.
Now that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
And defensively going with a dime set, 6 DBs on 3rd and 4. Back to throw. Murray. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Buying time to his left. And he's got Sanu. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Mohamed Sanu with his second touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
And now a critical extra point attempt here. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. So that drives 7 plays in length. And the end result, an Atlanta touchdown. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
4 down. Ready. Blue lady.
Now Jameis on 2nd down. Evans has it left side. The 30. The 20. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston with his 4th touchdown pass of the afternoon. And the Bucs are going to take the lead.
I know we often laugh and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. his second touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. Here's Oliver. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that.
Detroit! Detroit! Gun! 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 Gun!
To throw on second down, Murray. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Looking to throw. Murray. Forced out to his left. And this one brought in by Sanu. And give him a gain of 37.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Back to throw. Murray. He's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Noah Spence in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. A heck of an effort there on the scramble. Leaves him with just 3rd and a yard. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll try to run for it with Smith. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Ito Smith. An 18-yard touchdown run. And the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game. Well, the hard part's done. Now they just need to split the posts, tie it up, but then their defense is going to have to hold up to send it to overtime.
Yeah, no matter what. I know there's an inclination in it when you have momentum to go for 2 here, but if you miss it, you don't give your defense a chance at all.
Plus, it's been a good game. I want to see overtime. I'm selfish.
You obviously don't have a flight to catch.
Tomorrow. Critical extra point up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the 4th. A drive that time of 6 plays. And a nice play on the end of it. An 18-yard touchdown run. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Mike Evans and the rest of the offensive unit heading back out there now. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
Ready. Blue ready.
Now Winston. And that's going to be incomplete.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Ready. Blue ready.
Winston to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Robert Alford that time on the great coverage. So back-to-back incompletions, now 3rd and 10. And first things first, before you think about marching the ball down the field, you got to move the chains.
You're exactly right. Got to get back into focus here. Get the first down. That's what's vital to them.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Ready.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he slides to avoid the hit. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
That'll go in the books as just a 16-yard punt. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. They're on the outskirts of field goal range here in a tie game with a little time. So how do you handle this? What do you do here, Charles?
Everybody wants to pick up as much yardage as possible. But the weird part is for field goal kickers, being in really close sometimes puts more pressure on them because it's much more of a position kick as opposed to just going ahead and letting it out and letting it thump. A lot of guys like a little bit of distance because, you know, they can handle it, and it's a more natural swing of the leg.
So maybe getting inside the 20, not that big of a deal.
Not that huge of a deal. Sometimes that messes you up with the angles depending on which hash mark you're kicking from.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Well, now they'll try the end around. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Murray. Caught by Sanu. The Bucs forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 45 seconds left to go in the game. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Gerald McCoy in there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year. To throw on 2nd down. Murray. And it's caught. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Mohamed Sanu with time running out. And the Falcons have broken our tie.
I don't know how many more of these my heart can take, my man. I just don't know. Another big touchdown. Late in the game, they look like they're in control, but still, there's a chance. Block the extra point, go down and score, kick the extra point themselves. They can pull this one out.
Yeah, but also on the sideline that just took the lead, you got to get your defense ready and the special teams unit for the kickoff coming up.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Got to pull everyone together and make sure they're still focused and aren't already celebrating a win.
The offense going to stay on the field as they will line up and go for 2. Looking to throw. Murray. And that'll be incomplete. So the inability there to get the 2-point conversion sort of leaves the door at least a little bit more ajar.
And puts the onus now on the kickoff team and the defense to make sure they don't give up a big play that puts them in position to lose.
Especially on this kickoff. Got to be careful. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. 1 possession game. Time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go into this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, You can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring, and how...
Back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals after.
And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Robert Alford. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. Well, we were on hand for a fun and entertaining game here, coming down really to that last play. Great job defensively to get the pick and seal it.
And we know that every play during a game matters. You're never sure which one's going to be one of the key ones. But at the end of the game, when you analyze it, 3, 4, 5 plays are going to be the ones you focus on. And that last play was one of them. The last shot had to take it. And they came up with the interception and sealed their victory.
So for Atlanta, the streak lives as they move to 13-0 now on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, they can ill afford to drop too many more as they fall to 7-6 on the year. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Tampa.
They gon' let me in this club in these dirty vans. Clean money, I count stacks with these dirty hands. Do a show, cop the rack with my new advance. 50 bands, 80 bands, 100 bands. I'm the American dream. We the American dream. No money, no class, look at them. Look at them. How to make it in America. Real day one, ain't a lot of us. Mom worked 2 jobs, it was hard for us. Me and sis made it out, now she proud of us. They didn't teach me how to rap in those private schools. Wasn't like my rich friends, had a lot to lose. Less money, less options, lot of rules. So when that first deal came, it was opportune. And shorty got potential, I scout that. She say she in love, but I doubt that. Maybe it's to the clout. I get love in the north, I get love in the south, yeah. Shorty claims she a feminist, and her feminine. Girl, you know that he average. Girl, you know I'm a savage. They gon' let me in this club in these dirty vans. Clean money, I count stacks with these dirty hands. Do a show, cop the rack with my new advance. 50 bands, 80 bands, 100 bands. I'm the American dream. We the American dream. No money, no class, look at them. No money, now I'm in the Benz truck with a new honey. They said I wouldn't make it, I'm like, you funny. Laughing at my haters like, you dummies. The night is young, girl, what can you do for me? 6 figures, 5 shows, big ballin'. Look, I'm very important. I took a break, had some things I had to get sorted. I might retire in my prime like I'm M. Jordan. Table dancing in Southampton. Use the glasses for Vannas. Be cooling out in the whip, and I done dared every girl on my list. KD at the 3, Djokovic with the racket. Phelps in the pool, I'm like Speed at the Masters. Girl, you know you a bad. Girl, girl, you know I'm a savage. They gon' let me in this club in these dirty vans. Clean money, I count stacks with these dirty hands. Do a show, cop the rack with my new advance. 50 bands, 80 bands, 100 bands. I'm the American dream. We the American dream. No money, no class, look at them. Another day in the USA. Just another day in America. Kids from my hood look up to the system set us up for failure. I just wanna make enough to pay dividends. Then invest in black businesses. They teach us to hate what we see in the mirror, but it can't break our spirit. They gon' let me in this club in these dirty vans. Clean money, I count stacks with these dirty hands. Do a show, cop the rack with my new advance. 50 bands, 80 bands, 100 bands. I'm the American dream. We the American dream. No money, no class, look at them.
Thicker the ply, thicker the bag. Meet them a buying, at least in no beamer. I'm Brian O'Connor, driving it fast. They were just hating cause they in the way, and the way it been made it, the is mad. Hitting them baggins, I'm all in my bag. Well, I ain't holding around, just a little murder. Out the cutie, now I don't give a. Tell me why I would on the rose bar couch in my bag. Bands in my denim. In my denim, she was trying to for a doubt, she don't give a. She was in her bag, Fendi and some lane. Asked for a burger, watch in the front seat of the fouled out J. We living so wild like Nas. When she was on vacation, we was on roll like tires. What we gon' let? I'm in my bag like I'm in my bag, my. I'm really just running for money. I'm love flow, Joe chasing the check. I'm really gon' run up the money. I'm Carlos, really running the best. Car moving through these hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed. Car moving through these hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed. I'm really just running for money. I'm love flow, Joe chasing the check. I'm really gon' run up the money. I'm Carlos, really running the bag. Maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed. Car moving through these hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed. Bigger the bag, bigger the beef, bigger the problem, bigger the be one of the all in the same. Broke at the end of the month, flow, Joe, kill, mo, run it up, keep clean. Never let them touch, fits like temper tantrums. Girl, come back that